Hello all, I'm Professor Sandeep Ligade, working as an assistant professor in A.G. Patel Institute of Technology, Sholapur, in Department of Electronics and Telecommunication. In mechatronics, we are moving to the second point, that is sensors. So first point, that is a position sensor. So position sensor, which facilitates mechanical position, which may indicates your absolute position, it's nothing but location, or relative position is nothing but displacement in terms of linear travel, rotational angle, or 3D combination. Anyways, so in this way, whatever your displacement is there, position is there, that can be sensed by the sensor, and that sensor generates certain electrical voltage, current, and with the help of electronic circuitry, it can be processed and displayed on the display at how much distance it is being moved. So in this way, we can predict the uh, position. So there are types: potentiometer, LVDT, encoders. It is a linear transducer. So potentiometer basically they act as a linear transducer, or linear potentiometer produce resistive output, which is directly proportional to object displacement, basically, isn't it? So when there is a displacement, there is a movement, there is a change in the resistance. When there is a change in the resistance, there is a change in the voltage, or you can say current, and that can be manipulated due to the change in the voltage or voltage difference or current difference, that can be manipulated and displayed on the display. So there are types of displays are there: LCD display, LED display, okay, 7 segment display. Based on our application and suitable this one, we can select the displays. So these are the simple sensors, and such kind of position sensors are very, or you can say, widely used. For example, in a robot, right? There is a movement of a robot. Uh, uh, for a robot, we attach different motors, and due to that, what happens is rotational, whatever the displacement is there, can be manipulated. That rotation of robot wheel, which is determine its distance, okay, how much distance is covered by the wheel, so distance travel along the ground, isn't it? So that can be sensed with the help of this sensor, you can say, or position sensor, right? So linear position sensor, uh, which act as, what we call that, uh, with the help of position sensor, which converts, okay, linear position sensor, which converts position into proportional analog or digital signals, proportional analog or digital signals, using Hall effect technology. The kind of technology over here they have used is Hall effect. So that Hall effect technology is basically used to detect the type of semiconductor, that is P type or N type. In this way, in similar fashion, here the linear position sensor, which converts your position into proportional electrical signals, that is analog signal or digital signal, using the Hall effect technology. And similar, we will see the construction, or you can say type of potentiometer that we have. That is, you can see over here, potentiometer. Rotary potentiometer is a variable resistance device that can be used to measure angular position. So over here, potentiometer is kind of a resistor. Okay, so there are types of resistance: fixed resistance, variable resistance are there. Okay, under fixed resistance, wire wound resistance, carbon composition resistance, hermet resistance. So there are types of n number of types of resistance are there. And another type of resistance is simply we can have, that is a variable resistor. That is, we have potentiometer, then preset, then rheostat. So a number of variable resistors are there, and the value of variable resistance can be changed, and the value of fixed resistance is constant, or you can say fixed. So here, through voltage division, the change in resistance can be used to create an output voltage that is directly proportional to the input displacement over here, isn't it? Now see over here, here is a one variable resistance, that is a rotary potentiometer. and here is one more potentiometer, which is nothing but a linear potentiometer. There is a linear movement is there. See, here angular movement is there, and here is a linear movement. Hence, these both are the variable. And to the resistance, we have only two terminals. But for the variable resistance, okay, there are three terminals: A, B, and C. Only C. This A and B both are fixed, and C is a variable which has a wiper, which is a variable. Continuously it is moving. And similarly, in a linear, okay, this is called as you can say rheostat, a linear potentiometer or linear resistor. So there is a movement of linear over here, and A and B both are fixed, and this one is a variable one. Continuously this is moving. So when we attach or connect such kind of components in a circuitry, right? So we need to short, or we need to connect A and C in this fashion, okay, or else C and B. We have to short in this fashion. C or C and B, or C and A, in this way, right? So it becomes two terminals. When we short A and C, it acts as a one terminal, and B is another terminal. Similarly, for this one, this wiper, or you can say center point, C is connected to the B, or this C is connected to A. Either case, okay, this allowed. And here the technique is what? When there is change in the wiper, there is change in the movement of this one, okay, there is change in the resistance, and due to that change, there is change in the voltage, okay, and that voltage is manipulated. The voltage difference we get, the voltage difference we get, and that voltage determines the position, angle, okay. Here the change in the voltage determines the position, and here the change in the resistance determines the angle. This is what the simple difference, because here is a movement in angular, and here is a linear displacement is there, right? So we can have a look potentiometer in this way. Practically we can see potentiometer in this way, and inside of the potentiometer there is a carbon rod, right, and two aluminum connectors here fixed. This is A, this is B, and this is C1, isn't it? These all are the aluminum connectors. You can see leads are there, and this is a carbon material. Fine. So this one act as a metal. Okay. Aluminum act as a metal wiper. Fine. So whenever there is a movement of this wiper, there is a change in the resistance, right? And this one is one more resistor, which is nothing but a preset. It is also variable, and also has a three terminals: A, B, and C. Okay, this is also preset, and precisely we can change the value of this resistance. That's what is called as preset. Fine. So next sensor, position sensor that we can have is okay, LVDT, that is linear variable differential transformer, or linear variable differential transformer, or you can say one more name is linear variable displacement transducer, right? Differential displacement transducer. So LVDT, which is works on the transformer action, right? It works on transformer action. We'll see later on. LVDT is a transducer for measuring linear displacement, basically, right? And second point, it must be excited by an AC signal to induce AC response on secondary. Obviously, already I have told that is it based on the transformer action, and for the transformer we need of AC source. The core position can be determined by measuring secondary response, right? Where exactly the core is, left hand side, right hand side, isn't it? Up or down, based on the construction. Based on the core position, there is a generation of secondary voltage, and based on that, we can easily predict that where exactly the core position is. Right now, look at here. There is a transformer. Right here is a transformer, so which has a primary winding wound on the core. Core may be of iron core, ferrite core, okay, maybe of air core also, but it is iron core. Okay, or else we can say it as a ferrite core. Compared to the iron core and ferrite core is more suitable than the iron core. Right, losses are very less in a ferrite core, and also there is a proper linkage or maximum linkage in a ferrite core. flux. So there is a primary winding, here is a secondary winding of a transformer. So primary winding is more, secondary winding is less. So that's why this is called as step down transformer, right? This is a copper coil. Fine. So when we give here AC source, AC signal, at that moment AC current will flow from the primary, and due to that AC current, AC flux is generated. That AC flux links to the primary winding of a transformer. Okay. And according to Faraday's law, when flux links to the primary winding of a transformer, or when flux links to the conductor, right, or when flux cuts to the conductor, then EMF induces, EMF produces, isn't it? According to Faraday's law. So this EMF or voltage is called as self-induced EMF. Self-induced EMF. The same flux links to the secondary winding, right? The same flux links to the secondary winding. So voltage develop across secondary winding according to Faraday's law when the same flux linked to the secondary winding, and this voltage is called as mutual induced EMF. This voltage is called as mutual induced EMF, right? So in this case, overall, conductor is stationary. COA. Conductor is stationary, but flux is continuously changing, moving. Hence, whatever the EMF is developed in primary and secondary is called as statically induced EMF. In case of transformer, whatever the EMF is induced is called as statically induced EMF. And same in case of motor, whatever the EMF is induced, it is a dynamically induced EMF, because in motor there is a rotor, stator. On a rotor there is a winding, and rotor is a rotating part. So on that rotor there is a winding, means coil is rotating. So whatever the EMF is developed over there, that is a dynamically induced EMF, because coil is moving, coil is rotating. Here coil is stationary, isn't it? Here coil is stationary. That's why. And overall this is called as transformer action without any physical connection, right? The power from primary is transformed to the secondary, right? So it's called as transformer action. Right. So linear variable displacement transducer, we can see transformer, is an electromechanical sensor, okay, basically used to convert mechanical motion or vibrations. Already we have discussed, that is specifically rectilinear motion, into a variable electrical current, voltage, or electrical signal, and vice versa. So here see, when there is a displacement, there is a motion, there is a pressure or something like that. Okay, with the help of this LVDT, we can convert that, okay, pressure, force, mechanical motions, whatever, or vibrations, that all can be converted into electrical signals, maybe in the form of voltage or current, right? Simply, LVDT sensors devices are more sensitive to electromagnetic interference. Yeah, it is there. Fine. So when we see the construction, simple, to the LVDT, there is one primary and two secondaries are there, and two secondaries, see, it is opposite to each other. This is secondary 1 and this is secondary 2 over here, and in between this, whatever it is moving, it is a core, right? It is a simple core. And the red one, it is AC source to the primary. Here is the input AC source, and blue indicates the voltage across secondary 1, green indicates voltage across secondary 2, and this is the final output. Okay, this is a combination of both secondary 1 and secondary 2, isn't it? Now here what happens is, how it works, it is based on the simple transformer action. See, when the core moves to the right hand side, at that time what happens is, whatever the flux is generated across the primary, okay, whatever the flux is generated across the primary, that maximum flux is linked to the secondary via core, via core. Hence the flux linkage at secondary 2 increases. Hence voltage developed across secondary 2 also increases. Similarly, when this core moves to the left hand side, means add to the blue side, okay, secondary 1, at that time flux linkage to the secondary 1 is more. That's why voltage developed across secondary 1 is also maximum, right? And similarly, at that moment the voltage across secondary 2 is less because flux linkage is very less. Ideal case 0, fine. But when the core is at a center position, okay, the voltage developed across a secondary 1 is equal to the voltage developed across secondary 2. Hence, and both are equal and opposite, hence it gets cancelled. You can see in an animation when that core is at a center position, see here output voltage is 0. See, output voltage is 0 and core position is at center. When core position is at right hand side, see green is maximum, and when core position is at left hand side, see blue is maximum. In this way, we can simple detect the position, or you can say displacement. Via graphical representation, if we see over here, see when it is outside, voltage is positive. When this core is inside, voltage is negative over here. Fine. So graphically, if we see, voltage never starts from the zero. See, this is starting from the zero, but due to the presence of inductor, okay, inductor, what happens is there is somewhat residual voltage is present. Okay, so that's why this voltage never starts from the zero. It is somewhat start from the above side. You can say, okay, 10 millivolt, 30 millivolt, 50 millivolt, somewhat small residual voltage is present over here. Fine. So this is what the working principle of LVDT, right? Now we'll see the equation for this LVDT is simply that is VS1, okay, voltage drop across secondary 1, VS1, okay, minus VS2 is equal to 0. That is VS1 is equal to VS2. Simple equation. Right? Advantage. There is no physical, already I have told, because it is based on a transformer action, that's why there is no physical connection from primary to the secondary. There is no physical electrical contact across the transducer position sensing element. Second one, LVDT has an infinite resolution and a very long life cycle. Yeah, exactly. It is a, we call that robust. That's why it has a long life and a high infinite resolution is there, right? When we see the position, when we move this core to the left hand side or right hand side, right? Minute to minute change in the core, there is a change in the output voltage, right? Minute to minute change in the core position, there is a change in the output voltage, means it has infinite resolution. So obviously it has a long life and available in different configurations, right? And disadvantage, it has large primary voltage. Obviously we have to feed the 240 volt AC at the primary, right? That's why it has a large primary voltage, right? And also distortion increases over here at the output side. So temperature affects the performance, and sensitive to stray magnetic field. Obviously it works on the principle of magnetism, that's why, okay, sensitive to stray magnetic field. If you see the application of this LVDT, right? So categories are there, that is primary and secondary. So when we use this LVDT as a primary, simply whatever your displacement is there, it is converted into the electrical output signal, right? Electrical output signal. And secondary, when we use LVDT as a secondary transducer, right? Basically, it is used to measure force, displacement, pressure, etc. So in this way, LVDTs are used. Thank you very much. Next point we will see in the next lecture.